Hey class, tonight we're gonna be doing something cool. You guys wanna know what it is?
Mr. Mario,
Yes, Toad?
why are you teaching us at night?
I actually have no idea. Because I wanted to show you this cool book that I love.
Is it a really cool book?
Yeah, I always used to read this at my school before.
Oh yeah, then I can't wait.
So, Koopa, are you ready to read this book?
Yes, I'm so
Excited. Alright, you ready to announcement? Alright, ready? 3, 2, 1. Take a look on my Chromebook. Refugee from Gratz. I can't wait to read this book. It's so beautiful. Refugee. The Scholastic Book by Gratz.
Wait, what? The one from Gratz? Oh my goodness, I can't wait to read this book.
I know, I can't wait, but there's this one problem.
What?
Look behind you. Lamb, why are you sleeping?
Sorry, I'm just taking a nap.
It's fine with me. Alright, guys, are you ready to read Refugee?
Yes!
But there's also a problem, too.
What?
I'm gonna call on people to read.
No! I don't want to read.
Yes, you're gonna read. So I think you might be the first one to read.
No!
Fine, I'll read the first part. Alright, here's the Chromebook. Gratz. Alright. Refugee, I don't know what happened. For John Gratz. John Gratz, okay. No, don't want to go back. Alright. Are you guys ready? Chapter 1. Joseph. Berlin, Germany, 1938. Alright, I'm gonna start reading, okay? Okay.
Yes, I can't wait to see. This is gonna be so cool. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Alan Gratz. I really love this book. Please make more books of these. These are so beautiful. Thank you for your hard work.
Thanks, Toad. Sorry, Cat Luigi.
It's okay.
I'll give you JoJo points later. So, are you ready for me to read? After this chapter, Toad will read next.
No, I don't want to read next.
You're reading next. Alright, you ready? Alrighty. Alright, Joseph. Berlin, Germany, 1938. Crack! Bang! Joseph Landau shot straight up from bed, his heart racing. That sound, it was like someone that kicked the front door in, or had he dreamed it? Joseph listened, straining his ears in the dark. He wasn't used to the sounds of his new flat, the smaller one he and his family had been forced to move into. They couldn't afford their own old place. Not since the Nazis told Joseph's father that he wasn't allowed to practice law anymore because he was Jewish. Alright, next page. Alright, Toad, don't you mind reading?
No.
Read. Read Refugee. Read it. Just read it. I know how much you love it.
Fine, but my voice is not that good because it's a night right now.
Just hurry up, Toad. I'll be sitting down and I'll be watching ya.
Oh, this is so embarrassing. Oh, fine. I'll read. This is for you, Alan Gratz. Oh my goodness, why my voice like that? All right, let's do this. Okay. Across the room, Joseph's little sister, Ruth, was still asleep. Joseph tried to relax. Maybe he'd just been having a nightmare. Something in the darkness outside his room moved in a grunt or a scuffle. Someone was in the house! Joseph scrambled backward on his bed and eyes wide. There was shattering sound in the next room. Kersh! Ruth woke up and screamed in sheer blind terror. She was only 6 years old. Mama! Joseph cried, Papa! Towering shadows burst into the room. The air seemed to crackle around them like a static from a radio. Joseph tried to hide in the corner of his bed, but suddenly his hand snatched at him, grabbed for him. He screamed even louder than his little sister, drowning her out. He kicked and flailed in a panic, but one of the shadows caught his ankle and dragged him face first across his bed. Joseph clawed at his sheets, but the hands were too strong. Alright, is that it?
No, you still have a bit more. Just wait until you hit the night clothes.
Fine. Sorry, I'm itchy. Joseph was so scared, he wet himself. The warm liquid spreading through his night clothes. Oh, damn!
Oh, that is a good one.
Alright, are you ready to read?
Yeah, sure am. No! Joseph screamed. No! The shadows threw him to the floor. Another shadow picked up Ruth by the hair and slapped her. Be quiet! The shadow yelled, and it tossed Ruth down the floor beside Joseph. The stalk shut Ruth up, but only for a moment. Then she wailed even harder and louder. Hush, Ruthie, hush! Joseph begged her. He took her in his arms and wrapped in a protective hug. Hush now! They cowered together on the floor as the shadows picked up. Ruth's bed threw it against the wall. Crash! The bed broke into pieces. The shadows tore down pictures and pulled drawers from their bureaus and flung clothes everywhere. They broke lamps and light bulbs. Joseph and Ruth clung to each other, terrified and wet-faced with tears. The shadows grabbed them again and dragged them into the living room as they threw Joseph and Ruth on the floor once more. Alright, next page. Alright. And flicked on the overhead light. As Joseph's eyes adjusted, he saw 7 strangers who had invaded his home. Some of them wore regular clothes, white shirts with the sleeves rolled up, gray slacks, brown wool caps, leather work boots. More of them wore the brown shirts and red Sawaskia armbands of the what are these words? The Sturmentling Adolf Hitler's stormtroopers. Ooh! Alright, Toad, read again.
No!
Yes, you are.
Fine. Where are we? Oh, stormtroopers, I think. Joseph, Mother, and Father were there too. Lying on the floor, the feet of the brown shirts. Joseph, rush! Mama cried out when she saw them. She longed for the children, but one of the Nazis grabbed her nightgown and pulled her back. Aaron Lando! One of the brown shirts said to Joseph's father, "You have continued to practice laws despite the fact that Jews are forbidden to do so under the Civil Service Restoration Act of 1933, the crime against the German people. You will be taken into protective custody." Joseph looked at his father, panicked. "This is all misunderstanding," Papa said. "If you just give me a chance to explain." The brown shirt ignored Papa and nodded at the other men. 2 of the Nazis yanked Joseph's father onto his feet and dragged him towards the door. "No!" Joseph cried. He had to do something, but he leaped at his feet and grabbed the arm of one of the men carrying his father, and tried to pull him off. Men jerked Joseph away and held him as he thought against them. The brown shirt in chains laughed. "Look at this one," he said, pointing at the one spot of Joseph's nightclothes. The boy hissed himself. I'm not supposed to say that, sorry guys. The Nazis laughed at Joseph's face burned hot with shame. He struggled in the men's arms, trying to break free. "I'll just be a man soon enough," Joseph told them. "I'll be a man in 6 months and 11 days. The Nazis laughed again. 6 months and 11 days, the brown shirt said. That's not that he's counting the brown shirt. Wow. Can I just do this? No, I can't. Okay. Can I continue?
Yeah, sure.
Yay! Suddenly turned serious. "Perhaps you're close enough that we should take to your concentration camp too, like your father." "No!" Mama cried. "Not my son. He's just 12. He's just a boy. Please don't." Ruth wrapped herself into Joseph's leg and wailed, "Don't take him. Don't take him!" The brown shirt growled at the noise and gave the men carrying Aaron Landau at a dismissive wave. Joseph watched as they dragged Papa away to the sounds of Mama's sobs and Ruth's wails. Is that good?
You can continue if you want.
Sure, why not? Oh, okay, there's whales. Not the actual whales in the ocean. Okay, don't be so quick to grow up, boy. The brown shirt told Joseph, "We'll come for you soon enough." The Nazis trashed the rest of Joseph's house, breaking furniture and smashing plates and tearing curtains or something. They left suddenly as they had come, and Joseph and his sister and mother huddled together on their knees in the middle of the room. At last, they carried all the tears they could cry. Rachel Landau led her children into her room, put her bed back together, hugged Joseph and Ruth close until the morning. Can I continue? I want to read.
Yeah, sure. You're on fire, Toad.
Thank you, Mario. Mr. Mario, sorry.
It's okay.
Alright. I'm so happy to finally read. So fun. Okay. In the days to come, Joseph learned that his family wasn't the only one the Nazis attacked that night. Other Jewish homes and businesses and synagogues were destroyed all over Germany, and tens of thousands of Jewish men were arrested and sent to the concentration camps. They called it Krishnaland, the night of the broken glass. I knew about that. Imagine I was that old. Okay, guys, we're right there. The Nazis hadn't said it with words, but the message was clear. Joseph and his family weren't wanted in Germany anymore, but Joseph and his mother and sister weren't going anywhere. Not yet. Not without Joseph's father. Mama spent weeks going from one government office to another, trying to find out where her husband was and how to get. Next page. We're almost to chapter 2, Isabel. I think it's supposed to say oh wait. Let me clear my throat. Okay. tell her anything, and Joseph began to despair that he would never see his father again. And 6 months after he'd been taken away, they got a telegram from Papa. He had been released from a concentration camp called Dachau, but only on condition that he had to leave the country within 14 days. Joseph didn't want to leave Germany, but this was his home. Where would they go? How would they be alive? No. How would they live? But the Nazis had told them to get out of Germany twice now, and the Landau family wasn't gonna wait around to see what the Nazis would do next. Wow, what a good chapter!
I know. Joseph's chapter is really good.
I know. I love Refugee. Mr. Mario.
Yes, Toad?
Can we read Allies next?
Oh, yeah, Allies. That's pretty good.
And can we do Resist?
Oh, Resist is a good one. Good ones, Toad.
Thank you, Mr. Mario. Sorry, I need to practice that a bit.
You're losing your voice a bit.
I know. Okay, I'm gonna continue.
Wow, you're on fire, Toad. I'm giving you 5 dojo points.
Yay! Sorry, guys, if my voice cracks. My just throat hurts so much. Alright, we're on Isabel. Isabel, just outside Havana, Cuba, 1994. It took only 2 tries to get the scrawny, calico kitten to come out under the pink cylinder block house and eat from Isabel Ferdinand's hand. The cat was hungry, just like everyone else in Cuba, and its belly quickly won out of its fear. The cat was too tiny, it could only nibble at the beans. Its tummy purred like an outboard motor, and it's butted its head against Isabel's hand in between bites. You're not much to look at, are you, kitty? Isabel said. Its fur was scraggly and dull, and Isabel could feel the cat's bones through its skin, and the kitten wasn't too different from her, Isabel. I think it's supposed to say Isabel said. Oh, Isabel realized. My nose is runny as well. Isabel realized. Thin, hungry, and needed of a bath. Isabel was 11 years old, and all lanky arms and legs. Her brown face was splotchy with freckles, and her thick black hair was cut short for the summer and pulled back behind her ears. She was barefoot, like always, wore a tank top and shorts. The kitten gobbled up up the last of the beans, and mewed up pitifully. Isabel wished she had something else to give it, but this food was already more than she could spare. Her lunch hadn't been much bigger than the cat's. Just a few beans and a small pile of white rice. There had been, rationing and food coupon. Books back, and Isabel was little. A few years ago, in 1989, the Soviet Union had fallen, and Cuba had hit rock bottom. Cuba was a communist country, like Russia had been, and For decades, the Soviets had been buying Cuba's sugar for 11 times the price and sending the little island food and gasoline and medicine for free. But the Soviet Union went away. So did all their support. Most of the farms in Cuba grew only sugarcane with no one to overpay for it. The cane's fields dried up, the sugar refineries closed, and people lost their jobs. Without Russia's gas, they couldn't run the tractors to change the fields over to food. And without the extra food, the Cuban people began to starve. All the cows and pigs and sheep had been slaughtered and eaten. People had been broken into the Havana Zoo and eaten the animals and cats like the little kitten that ended up on the dinner tables. But nobody was going to eat this cat. You'll just be a little secret, Isabel whispered. Hey, Isabel! Ivan said, making her jump. The cat, skittered away underneath the house. How? Underneath a table or something? Isabel had been friends as long as she could remember. Ivan was lighter skinned than Isabel. With curly dark hair, he wore sandals, shorts, and short-sleeved button-down shirt, and a cap with fancy letter I on it. The logo of the Havana baseball team, the Industrials, he wanted to be a professional baseball player when he grew up. And good enough that it wasn't a crazy dream. Next page. Oh my goodness, so much reading. Okay. I think the next chapter is Mahmoud.
Yeah, I think it's Mahmoud.
Yeah, it's Mahmoud.
I bet it's Mahmoud. I think I can eat Mahmoud.
Don't eat Mahmoud. Don't. My teacher calls it Mahmoud. It's Mahmoud, not Mahmoud. A Big Mac. Oh my goodness. My throat hurts. I guess I'm gonna sleep well tonight. Oh my goodness, look at all the pages I have to do. That's what time it is. It is 10:10 p.m. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's just get it over with. Sorry, my nose has been runny. I just need to look up. Just need to calm down and let's read. Okay, I'm just gonna see what it looks like. Ivan plopped into the dusty ground beside Isabel. Look! I found a bit of dead fish on the beach for the cat. Isabel recoiled at the smell, but the kitten came running back, eating greedily from Ivan's hand. She needs a name, Ivan said. Ivan gave names to everything. The stray dogs who wandered the town, his bicycle, even his baseball glove. How about George? Or Javier? Or, Lazaro or something. Those are all boy names, Isabel said. Yes, but they are players for the Lions. And she's a little lion. The Lions was the nickname of the Industrials. Ivan, his father called from the next door. I need your help in the shed. Ivan climbed to his feet. I have to go. We're building a doghouse, he said, before sprinting away. Isabel shook her head. Ivan thought he was being sneaky, but Isabel knew exactly what he and his father were building in their shed. What is it? Okay. And it wasn't a doghouse. It was a boat. A boat to sail to the United States.
Good one. I love the United States. But the currency is lower than CAD, Canadian dollars.
I know. I love Canadian dollars. They're more. Alright. It's time to read this last part. I think. There better not be more. Okay, let's start. Let me know if you want me to read more Refugee. I will bookmark this page if you want. Let's start. I just randomly wanted to show you my big head. Okay, let's start. Isabel was worried the Castillos were going to get caught. Fidel Castro, the man who ruled Cuba as president and prime minister, wouldn't allow anyone to leave the country, especially not to go to the United States. El Norte, as Cubans called it, the North. If you were caught trying to leave El Norte, by boat, Castro would throw you in jail. Isabel knew that because her own father had tried that and had been thrown in jail for 1 year. Well, a year. Isabel noticed her father and grandfather heading down to the road towards the city and stand in line for food. She put a little kitten back under her house and ran inside for her trumpet. Isabel loved tagging along on trips into Havana and stand on a street corner and play her trumpet for pesos. She never did make much, not because she wasn't good. As her mother liked to say, Isabel could play the storm clouds from the sky. People often stopped to listen and her clap and tap their feet. But the only people who could afford to give her pesos were the tourists. Visitors from Canada and Europe or Mexico, ever since the Soviet Union had collapsed? Yeah, collapsed. No, there's more! No! There's so much more! Why is this chapter so long? It's okay, I still want to read it for you guys. Soviet Union collapsed. The only currency most Cubans had were the booklets. But you got stamped when you went to pick up your food rations or rations from the store. And food ration booklets were pretty worthless anyway. There wasn't enough food to go around whether you had a booklet or not. Isabel caught up with her father and grandfather and parted ways with them in the Millicon. And the broad road that curved along the seawall of Havana Harbor. On one side of the road were blocks of green and yellow and pink and baby blue homes and shops. The paint was peeling and the buildings were old and weathered. But they still looked grand, and Isabel, she stood at the wide promenade. So the promenade or promenade. Oh my goodness. Where it's seen of all Havana. was on display. Mothers carried babies in slings. Couples kissed underneath the palm trees. Buskers played rumbas and on guitars and drums. Boys took turns driving into the sea. Tourists took pictures. It was Isabel's favorite place in the whole city. Isabel tossed an old ball cap on the ground. On the off chance that one of the tourists actually had a peso to spare, she lifted the trumpet to her lips as she blew. Her fingers trapped out the notes she knew by heart. It was Salsa tune. She liked to play, but this time she listened to past the music, past the noise of the cars and trucks. On the Melicon, past the people talking as they walked by, past the crash of the waves against the seawall behind her. Isabel was listening for the clave or the clav underneath the music. The mysterious hidden beat inside Cuban music that everybody seemed to hear except her. An irregular rhythm that lay over the top of the regular beat, like a heartbeat underneath the skin, as they try as she might. She had never heard it, never felt it. She listened now, intensely, trying to hear the heartbeat of Cuba, in her own music. What she heard inside the sound of breaking glass. Let's switch the page. Finally! Oh my goodness! We're at Mahmood, not Mahmood. So we're gonna bookmark this and we might do this tomorrow. Bookmark. We're up here. Bookmark. Okay, what page are we on? We're on page 31 to 32. Mahmood, Apello, Syria, 2015. Okay, we're gonna say this. We're gonna go out.
No, Toad, I'm supposed to take over.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Mario. Go ahead.
Alright, guys, I'm gonna take over. I'm gonna close Sora. And yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Now it's time to sign out. So sign out. Okay, it did finally. Okay, guys, this will be the end of the night. It is 10:20 p.m. So, how was the reading, Toad?
It was so nice. I had fun reading.
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that, Toad. Thank you for reading Alan Gratz for us. So, what does the whole class want to say?
Peace, guys. Always read Alan Gratz. You don't know what you're missing.
Good question, Toad. So, we're going to see you later. Bye.
Bye. And don't eat me. I'm not a mushroom.